Four-way test by Bill Ralston, and Roxanne has her song. Yes, ma'am.
Heavenly Father, I just ask you to bless everyone that's in this room, Father, that we may carry your light throughout the day, throughout the week, and doing your work, Father, and helping others, and bringing your light into this darkness. Amen.
Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance to the greatest country in the history of the world.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please join me in the things that Rotarians think, say, and do. First,
Is it the truth?
second,
Is it fair to all concerned?
third,
Will it build goodwill and better friendships?
and finally,
Will it be beneficial to all concerned?
All right, Miss Roxanne, you're singing.
Okay, everybody knows this song, so it's song number 34 on page 48. He's got the whole world in his hands. Y'all ready? Okay. He's got the whole world in his hands. He's got the whole wide world in his hands. He's got the whole wide world in his hands. He's got the whole world in his hands. He's got a little baby in his hands. He's got the little bitty baby in his hands. He's got the little bitty baby in his hands. He's got the whole world in his hands. He's got you and me, brother, in his hands. He's got you and me, brother, in his hands. He's got you and me, brother, in his hands. He's got the whole world in his hands. He's got everybody here in his hands. He's got everybody here in his hands. He's got everybody here in his hands. He's got the whole world in his hands.
Amen.
All right, Mr. Willie, you seem happy in this place today?
You ought to see that baby. Your husband would love it. Got it in his Texas. Over 30,000.
Is anybody happy?
I'm real happy.
Baby's happy with me.
Got somebody happy, got some happy people over here. I'm coming to see them because they're so happy.
I'm real happy.
Woo!
I'm $100 happy.
That's happy.
So for those of you that did not watch or have not heard or seen it on Facebook, the Rotary Club of Greenville brought home 5 awards on Saturday night, including Mr. David Weiland, who I'm sure is at home still waiting a negative result, who won Service Above Self. And we have Roxanne Turner over here as New Rotarian of the Year. We got the Club Service Award, which is the one I am the most proud of. More club service than any other club in our district. And we got Club of the Year. Woo! There was that little president thing too. But there was also one more award that wasn't necessarily given at the district level. It was given at the district awards. But it was actually a club award that was given called the Star Award, and Miss Debbie Sickles won the Star Award.
Nice.
So thank y'all so much for an amazing year, and I couldn't have done any of it without all of you and all of the people that served, and this club is absolutely amazing, the best thing in the world. So for all of you that's viewing this out there, you need to come and join this club. Thank you very much.
Very cool, very cool. Hang on one second.
Very
You know
well
what?
said.
She did say that little president thing, and I'm very proud of Katie.
Yes,
She's been
they
a
are.
wonderful president. I just wanted to give her one more chance in the round.
Thank you.
appreciate you being president.
Larry, you need
Miss
to get
Debbie's
one of
happy.
her shoes
I need to get one of her shoes.
and put it up there on the
Just
table.
leave it here for good luck. That way we'll constant
Following her
reminder.
footsteps.
I'm trying. It's going to be tough. She got a big shadow. We spoke about that. It's going to be
It's
great.
not that big anymore. I keep saying that.
It's the shadow of good things that you did.
Okay, to continue on, I just want to say, without Katie, I wouldn't have got anything.
Well,
She makes me.
I recognize how awesome you
Okay,
are.
we got somebody happy over here. I saw him.
I was happy, I'm less happy. No, I'm just kidding. So, little known fact, I was supposed to be president, and I couldn't do it, and Katie stepped up at the last minute and took my place and led us to victory. So I'm happy that I had a replacement, because I felt bad that I couldn't do it, but I am so glad you're the one that got to.
Thank you.
Very cool. Very cool. Very happy people. Happy people. Looking for happy people. We got somebody.
No, I don't have it.
Oh, she's happy. She's happy. Okay. We got some more happy people over here. Happy. That's how happy you are.
I am so very happy. I bought a 61 horsepower tractor. It's fire red and it has an air conditioning cab. What a pleasure to ride it.
We just get it. Sounds like a lot of fun. Okay, more happy people. Got some more happy people. That's right, AJ.
I'm just happy because I'm honored, very honored to get the award for Rotarian of the Year, and just there's a room full of people that deserved it as well. So thank you.
Very cool, very cool. Any more happy people? All right, that's pretty happy. We got a happy crowd here, brother. All right, we also got
Some Deck of Destiny.
the Deck of Destiny. Oh my goodness, and we
We
sold
actually
some
have
tickets
lots
for
of
that.
tickets now. You can buy more.
So does anybody else want to buy a ticket since we have some tickets? Okay. Okay, see, we got another player. Hang on, how many do you want? How many do you want? I'm not afraid to sell a ticket.
Keep selling those winning tickets, Willie. It's all going for tools for the schools.
All right, any more players? We got another player over
I do not have that answer for you right now, but I will find out. Physically help.
$2 and I'll bring you some change.
Yes, ma'am.
This is getting, oh my goodness, this is getting so exciting. Here's your tickets. Huh? I will give you some change.
I'll do the $5.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's even better.
Feeling lucky.
I've got.
One more set. Okay, we working, there's yours. Okay, anybody else while we're, oh, got one more. Got another. Oh, you some money here. No, that's right, you've got your $5. Okay, what's up, Bill? You want 3 for $2?
Willie, she's got plenty of money.
How?
She's got plenty of money.
She does. Who's she?
I'm spending Scott's money.
Now, I started to say, not only does she have her money, she has his money too. Let's go with that. Okay. All right. We got that all worked out. I got it. All right. So here we go. All right. Now, what do we do?
I have a young lady over here that can draw that ticket for you.
Okay, we draw the number.
Let her announce it.
Draw the number. Coming. All right. Now, in the interest of being fair and honest, we're going to let our guest, Miss Sarah, draw a ticket right here. Draw the ticket and don't read it just yet. I'm even going to let you read it. She needs to practice her public speaking. So go ahead, please stand with us, Miss Sarah, and read the numbers off one at a time and make the last one very mysterious. But you'll see. There you go.
1, 9, 1, 4, 0.
Oh, 0. And what's the next one?
6.
6. Is there another one?
Yes.
Oh, there's another one.
What's the last number?
3.
Good job. Did we have a winner?
We had to have a winner. All right, now, can you pull the winning card? You feeling lucky today, Doc?
He swiped my tickets.
Swiped your ticket.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure he switched them. These do not look like my tickets. Oop, that's it.
Do you want that card? Why are you pushing this one out? Do you want this card? Yes.
Oh!
He got the 6 of hearts.
You never trust the dealer.
He got the 6 of hearts. Okay.
House always wins.
All right, I skipped over our visitors. We do have a couple of visitors in the house today. And Mr. Ellis, I see you're not a visitor anymore. Okay. So you brought your beautiful wife with you, Sheila?
Hi, Larry. Hi.
She got a haircut.
She got a haircut.
She's beautiful.
Mr. Clark brought his beautiful wife Karen with him today.
did.
And I see Mr. Cornott over here trying to eat. He's trying to eat. He also brought his beautiful wife Kendall with him. So glad to have y'all here today. So Willie?
Yes.
How much money we got in the deck of destiny? We're coming full circle? Because I heard our past president over here say she was going to wait till it got down to the little low spot so she can be a winner.
I don't have a total cumulative amount. All I have is today.
Yeah, we're good. We're good. All right, we'll get with Karen and get that number out there. All right, so Ms. Caney has a visitor too, and I'm going to let her introduce this visitor today. Yeah, Willie's just left the lay around.
Thank you. So today we have another one of our scholarship recipients that are joining us today for lunch, and this is Miss Sarah Steele. She has been a homeschool student here in Hunt County. She and her 2 siblings, right? And she's been very involved in her church and service through her church, and specifically through missions. She enjoys sewing, camping, quilting, and outdoor adventures. She plans to attend Collin Community College and then transfer to a 4-year university where she wants to pursue a career in accounting and specifically forensics accounting. So congratulations to you, Sarah, and we wish you the best of luck in your new journey.
Thank you.
Thank you.
She is shy. She is not wanting to get near us. I can't believe Willie got her to draw a number. I'm proud of her for that. All right, before we get started, I would like to say that our guest speaker for today had to cancel. The state had changed the regulations. Dr. Liggins was supposed to be here and give us an update on how school was going to transition this year and get started. And he didn't want to come, and it changed tomorrow, or it changed Friday. So he wanted to work things out. Yesterday they had a meeting with the school board. He had a meeting with the health department. So they're working plans out. He plans on being here late August. I think the last weekend's the weekend I switched him on his date. So with that, we're going to improvise a little bit. But I do have something. Miss Katie, come here. I found something the other day at my house. It just showed up in my mail. And it's very sweet little pin for you as a Paul Harris fellow.
And with my 2.
With her 2 on it. Very, very wonderful.
Awesome. I just was saying I want to come up with some kind of thing to.
You need a little ribbon.
I don't want the long ribbon because then it gets crinkled in my purse. So some kind of piece of fabric that I can stick pins through because I don't want to stick it through my shirt. But yeah, thank you.
you had something to say also.
I did. I just wanted to mention that John Clark and CJ and I met with Mayor Dreiling this week. This is in regards to the Cotton Patch Challenge. So I wanted to make sure to fill everybody in on what the conversation was so that you could be prepared and preparing. For those of you that are new and you haven't participated, this is an awesome event. This is usually our biggest fundraiser, and the Cotton Patch Challenge is a bike ride. We normally have how many? About 500-600 participants every year in the ride. This year, obviously, with COVID, it's going to be a little bit different. But John is he is taking chairperson for the ride portion for everything that has to do with the physicality of the ride. I'm taking chairperson for the more administrative side of it. And so John actually found a way for folks to register this year. He's got a great site that we're paying for to register where they go on and register and they get a QR code, so it'll be touchless registration. They just show their QR code and they're off to the races then. And no shirts this year other than for the staff, so we don't have to be handing shirts and and then what do they do with them? Stick them in a bush somewhere or have to lug them back to their car? And because what John has told me and the rest of us that are on the committee is that because so many of the other rides have been canceled in June and July, some of the very avid cyclists are actually excited that ours is still on right now. So how many right now do you have registered so far? 75 registered. But we're in a situation right now where we have to abide by what the state's orders are and what our own mayor's orders are. And right now, it's no more than 100 in an outdoor location. So we met with Mayor Dreiling the other day to ask, what do we need to do? What do we need to, we went with some ideas of maybe staggered start times where there's no more than 100 people in a group that are going to be going. The touchless registration is great because we don't have to be handing them things, having hand sanitizer everywhere. Also, we're hesitant to market a little bit because what if it gets cut off, so, and then we usually get hotel tax funds to help with marketing and promotion. So basically the consensus between the three of us after we left the meeting the other day was that we feel like that if we do everything we possibly can to keep people healthy, promote social distancing, wearing masks when everybody is in the downtown area. As soon as they cross the start line, if they want to take it off, fine. But when you're in downtown, from the time you leave your car to registration to starting, you wear your masks. I feel like this, and again, this is not anything that Mayor Dreiling has said, this is just my gut reaction, that I feel like if we can prove that we will do all of these things and abide by this, and if there's no order from the state government, the governor that will turn this over, I feel like that we will be able to go with our Cotton Patch Challenge. So please, it's on September 19th, correct?
Yes.
Please make sure that in your mind at least, I know that's 2 months away, but in your mind you're already starting to think about where you're going to help, what area, what position you're going to help. We've got a committee already formed, and those individuals that are chairing each different location should be reaching out to you to ask where do you want to help out. But we would love for everybody, every single club member, to please be there and help out in some capacity. There are going to be a lot of areas that you can help that you will be completely social distanced and you won't have to be in the middle of everything. So just please make sure that everybody plans on being there and helping us out. Are there any questions?
John, would you like to expand on some of the tentative ideas y'all have for share with the club? How you plan on getting the participants spread apart? CJ in between?
If we can get the hotel tax funds, we might be able to actually promote a lot more.
Yeah, exactly. Actually, you explained it very well, Katie, so I haven't got a lot to add. But what we anticipate doing is we're going to be plotting out coming up Johnson Street, taking a turn on Lee Street, not having to block off Lee Street, but just taking one lane and extending on down and basically having blocks of people come in after they register, coming in, getting into place. They can come across Johnson Street all the way. And we could have like 6, 7, or 8, depending on how we march it off, so they can be separated, and then have another row, and then another row, and then another row, and wrap around the block and head on down towards Greenville Floral. So if they're ready to go. That way when we start, they're all spaced properly, the masks come off, we start, they're off and going and kind of doing as we would normally do, with the fastest riders, of course, being up front, long distance riders, because people in the back will not catch the fastest riders, so just simply the nature of things. In addition to that, as she mentioned with the touchless, when people do register, they do get the QR code. They can actually come into the race or come into the event, and we'll have our check-in people, we'll just scan their code right off their phone. Boom, goes in, we know who they are. It has already a signed number for them to go with. If they've ordered a shirt or a jersey, we write that on the back, and they can collect that at the end when they come back in. So it's going to greatly simplify the process coming in. We don't have to touch anything, we don't have to touch anybody. And plus, we're also going to be setting up things on the route for the stop places where people stop, get refreshments with hand sanitizers and gloves, and how we prepare the food. It'll probably be a little bit cut down menu this year, but we think we can do it. We think we can do it very safely, and if we meet all those criteria, we should be good to go, unless unforeseen happens and the governor clamps down even tighter, which I don't see where he's indicated looking at that to happen. So, anybody have any questions?
Well, you answered my question, because my question was going to be the rest stops. How would you do that with fruits and stuff? But with the gloves,
we're still working on details, but maybe Katie would like to address that. Would you
What?
like to address that?
Yeah. So one of the things, actually, it was Debbie's idea to have like a roped off area where normally when we have rest stops, first of all, I know and I get it at our rest stops, some of our rest stops are big party places. I mean, they have 20 people sometimes down there with music blaring, and it's a really fun atmosphere. Well, guess what? We're not going to be able to do that this year because we don't want to entice people to be hanging out and partying. The rest stops are specifically going to be, and strictly going to be, for the rest, for get some, a banana, get some water, and then move on, right? So one of the things Debbie suggested is just having, it kind of cordoned off, roped off, so one at a time can come up, get what they need, and we're going to have the volunteers be masked and gloved, and they're going to have, like Gloria just said, the little containers like this. We'll have everything sectioned off, hand it to them, whatever they want, and then they have to go. Now, if they want to congregate away from the water stop, we can't stop them from doing that, but we can mandate. And of course, let's face it, there's not going to be anybody unless they've been living under a rock. And if they've been living under a rock, they're not going to be registering for our ride, right? So everybody knows and understands what's going on and how we have to make accommodations and changes right now. So we will need people to help with water stops, but the one thing I got back up for is I just realized Jim Sandin asked me last week. He is our chairperson over corner marshals. Corner marshal, I'll let, you want to explain that, or do you want me to just? A corner marshal is essentially literally at the corner of an intersection where people have to come, maybe they're coming this direction and they need to turn here. So it is this is one of those areas where you can easily be out there and nobody's going to come within, 10 feet of you at all, except for Rich, who's shaking his head, unless they run directly into you.
You won't get close to them.
Yeah, you're not ever going to get close to them. We need corner marshals. When we lost Caravide as our partner in this event, we lost half of our corner marshals. Yes, sir.
We also need parking attendants.
And Bill, who is the chair over our parking attendants, we need parking attendants. Here's the really cool thing about parking, is you can go and do parking that morning, and then you can also do another event, help in another area.
Yep.
That may change a little bit this year if we end up with staggered start times though. But normally you could be there first thing in the morning and help with parking and then go work SAG, which is safety and gear.
That's what I was going to, your SAG drivers have the ability to.
Yeah, used to, I don't know, we'll see.
Depends on when
But-
they get out.
I've driven safety and gear before, and I love it, love it, love it. You get to ride in a brand spanking new pickup truck.
It's a cushy job.
And it is amazing, and you drive around and pick up riders that have, their wheels, they have a flat, their wheel fell off, they're injured minorly, because if I ain't picking up anybody that needs to go to the ER. But, so we've got SAG, we've got the corner marshals, and we've got the rest stops that are 3 areas, and parking 4 areas that desperately need assistance. I want you, again, to start thinking about this in advance. We need everybody's participation, especially because if you look around the room, we have several members that cannot come to Rotary Live. Now, I happen to know, because I spoke to one of them yesterday, that there are several members that are watching on Facebook Live that don't feel comfortable being here because of underlying health conditions or just age is a factor. So those individuals are probably not going to be able to be there and participate either. So I need everybody's participation, including you Rotary adjacent folks.
Yeah.
Okay. That are no longer guests.
Yeah,
Rotary adjacent. Yeah.
She's
I felt like maybe you were. So again, if you would like more information about parking, please get with Bill. Jim Sandin is our corner marshal. SAG is the safety and gear is David Wyland, and what was the other one that I said?
Rest stops.
Rest stops, which actually we need, I believe, a chairperson for that this year, don't we? Do you have somebody chairing that? I don't believe so, because it was Link.
I didn't notice that.
It was Link.
Excuse me?
My memory fails.
Okay. If I'll let John talk about that later.
Right.
Don McBride is chairing the water stops, but we definitely need people to assist with that. That includes helping with acquiring and handling the food and prepping it. And of course, this year it's going to be even more prep work than normal. So, okay, that's it. All right.
How about supply? How are we going to handle supply? Pick it up like normal and then put it into little cups or what? How are we going to do that?
I'm thinking that whoever is on water stop committee, we don't have it fine-tuned to that level just yet, but probably what's going to have to happen is the people that are on the water stop committee are going to need to, just like they would prep before, need to prep and put it into the individual containers.
Okay.
And then the person at the water stop will pick up. Yes?
Just a thought, addition while it goes in Ziploc bags, you only have one item instead of a top and these guys walk
Right.
around in the wind like crazy. Yeah. So
Yeah, that's a good idea.
That will have to have extra trash cans at those locations.
We
For
will.
either trash, for either one, yeah.
And that's another reason I don't want to do, somebody had mentioned maybe water bottles, but I don't really want to do that either because
all down the highway.
they would be all down the highway and it's a lot harder to deal with that than a little paper cup. So,
They've got their own water on their bike.
yeah.
They're just replenishing it is what they're doing.
yeah.
It's pretty safe when we have these big containers to fill them into every biker's got his own bottle.
Mhm.
You know, ask-
As long as you don't touch the lip too.
Filling up those.
Yeah.
I was not ready to finish, but
We'll have to do it for them.
Okay.
Dr. Sanders like.
We'll have to do it for them. Yeah, and we'll have to go over possible, if that happens, maybe we have a pitcher instead that we fill up like this, because what you don't want to do, this is the thing that drives me crazy about restaurants that make their servers wear gloves. Ugh. I watched literally a server walk over to a table and pick up their dirty dishes and the cup to go and refill, come back, set it down, and then come over and bring me my food with the same gloves on.
Yes.
So maybe we'll have to adapt and have pitchers or something where we're only touching the pitcher, we're never touching their bottle, they're not handing it over. We don't want to have any transfer of anything between us other than, they can, if they want, obviously we're going to be handling the cups, but then again, there's no, if you're wearing gloves, there shouldn't be any transfer of
Minimizes it
anything.
to one
So
person.
we're still working on the details, but we are going to absolutely, and if you've got any suggestions for things like that, I need that.
The bars are still closed, which I think they probably will be. I can get you all the pictures you need.
Awesome, there you go. Put that on your
I
list.
like that.
She can get all of the pictures that we need
The bars are still closed.
because the bars are all closed.
She
Um,
said if we designate that one person is in charge of the drinks and doesn't touch anything else, and the other person
Yes.
does what.
That's probably gonna be exactly what it is one person hands out food, one person hands out,
Actually have multiple
drinks.
stations.
Because, and that's why too, that we can't, with the water stops, we can't have 50, people. We can't have even 5 or 6 because you can't social distance. Even as a worker, you can't social distance under one of those tents, and we don't need that many people. This is, and keep in mind, I know and I realize that in the past, we had not only the long distance riders that are avid cyclists that have, $5,000 pieces of equipment and they're going out there to ride. We also had the people that were doing leisure rides, right? And that they had much less expensive pieces of equipment and they were maybe doing it with their family or whatever. But to be honest with you, what are the chances that we're going to have a bunch of families want to come out and ride right now? I mean, we might, because maybe this is the only thing they can do without, exposing themselves. But what we're finding right now is that the majority of the people that have registered for the ride are those long distance avid riders that are wanting to ride and haven't been able to for the last couple of months. So there's a good chance that at these water stops, we're not going to be that busy anyway, and those long distance riders aren't stopping to party. So it's not going to be that important for us to have a party environment. I sure hope that Lake Tawakoni Regional Chamber of Commerce still hosts their water stop though.
Yeah, but without the party, I don't know. Yeah.
Y'all can have a party, just have it inside and only have 2 people outside. So, okay, any other ideas or suggestions or comments, queries, concerns? All right, well, I hope that for Larry's sake, because, I thought I had it bad, y'all, the last quarter of my presidency being stripped from me, but, with us having...
Fundraisers.
Yeah, with us having our 2 largest fundraisers back-to-back in September and October, in the middle of all of this, it's not good. It's going to be tough for Larry, and what's even going to be more tough is that we're just not going to have as much money to give to our amazing nonprofit. So, I don't know, have some kind of
We'll find a way.
quarantine fundraiser.
Yeah. Everybody's having virtual everything, so we could have a virtual bike ride. They could sit at their house. I don't think they're going to want to pay for it though. But it was a thought. Probably not. Well, yeah. With what Katie said, we do have the haunted landmark following right in behind this. That we're going to be bound to the same things. How are we going to social distance our crowds, our group going in? How are people going to get scared from 6 foot away? You're going to have to be a big snake.
Somebody with the mask
or a big spider. Yeah.
Their mouth.
Well, I know last week Rich and Dr. Sandin spoke, and I wanted to see if there was any other questions about the county and COVID you might have for Mr. Carter today. He's willing to answer any questions you might have. They ran a little over last week, and Dr. Sandin was like, I still got more information. But if anybody's got any questions for him, he's willing to answer. Well, with that being said, I have one from behind.
Well, I will say, that when we look at the numbers, they seem to absolutely be plateauing. So even in the big cities, they seem to be plateauing. So hopefully we'll see a downward trend, and maybe next week I can have more understanding of that. So it's good to see. So I know the predictions were that the second half of July was going to be twice as bad, but I don't think that's going to happen.
Hey Larry, how about we just give Rich like a COVID minute every week.
Yeah, the COVID update, yes. He's gonna be doing it by Zoom.
Right.
So how long, when you do take the test, how long does it take to get back your results? Because they've been saying like 24 hours, now they're saying maybe up to 2 weeks.
She's asking how long does it take to get test results back?
Our test results, the ones that we have to send out to a reference lab, which we are currently doing right now, take 24 to 48 hours. So typically 24, but there is a 1 o'clock deadline. So we have to have it there in Dallas by 1 o'clock, which means the courier has to leave here at 11. So if you get your test drawn at noon, then you gotta wait a whole another day.
Right.
So that could be a 48-hour deal. But we just purchased a new, what they call a PCR testing machine, so we're gonna start doing them in-house starting next week. So depending
That's the reason we love our
So
hunt
depending on volume, it could be a 2-hour turnaround, or it could be, same day basically. Yes, Willie?
Well,
You want to share us with your opinions again, Willie?
Yes.
Step this way.
Will y'all be doing testing of anyone, or is it just if you have the symptoms or exposure?
We do testing only if you have a physician's order.
I see.
So we don't have, periodically the state will bring in a come one, come all, if you want to test, come get it. But that really is an inappropriate use of resources. So if you've got fever, you're having struggle breathing, some things like that, then you're a candidate. And you can go to the urgent care center and they can fix you up, or you can go to your doctor and they can give you an order. And some of the doctors do it at their own office too. A couple, not very many.
I know someone that has, they think they actually had COVID back in February, and can that person get tested, or is
Well,
it?
they can get an antigen test. So if you go get the antigen test, which is different then it'll tell you that whether you've ever had it in the past.
Where can that be had?
It won't tell you whether you got it right now. It'll tell you whether you've had it ever. And we can do that same thing in laboratory in the hospital.
Okay.
We don't do a whole lot of
Does
those.
that need a doctor's order?
Yes. Oh, every lab test requires a doctor's order.
Okay.
Yes, that's just the way the law is.
All right. Ms. Lewis has a question for you, sir.
Yes, Ms. Liz. Pardon?
Someone has to retest and go back to work.
Right.
Will they, if y'all turn those numbers in as a COVID count, what sort of those numbers are driving up?
I don't know. I don't know the answer to that. I would not think so. I would not think so, but I'm not sure.
Daniel Ray put it out in the paper yesterday, I believe it was, that because in Hunt County, they are tracking the positive cases by individuals, and that individual's assigned a number, so each time you get retested, you are not counted again. It goes back to your original number. So there's been a lot of confusion about it, but they are not counting it as an additional test.
That is what I would suspect, that we're not, that wouldn't be proper to double count.
Dallas County, some of them have, but in Hunt County, I know specifically.
How about Florida? They counted whether you had flu symptoms.
Yeah, there's lots of mistakes, I think, out there from the data.
I don't know whose counts are accurate.
You don't, but I think you get the general trend.
So do you have an answer with what the...
Yes, John?
Go ahead.
As far as the vaccines that are supposed to be coming out later on, is Hunt County in line to get some of those, or is that just going to Florida and other?
I have no idea on that.
I didn't know if you had any.
No, I have no. I saw a news blip the other day about the company is expecting theirs to be out at the end of this year, but how they're going to distribute it or what it's going to cost, they did not have a response to. So I don't know. It won't be as cheap as a flu vaccine, I guarantee you that.
I'm sure.
Yes,
Well,
sir.
I had a question. We do a nose swab.
Yes, sir.
Now they're coming out with a saliva swab. Which one is more accurate, or is it similar. And the reason for the question was you watch all this Chinese testing, it was always a Slava swab. Or do you have an honest answer?
I don't have the answer on that, but generally speaking, I think Dr. Sandin would agree if he was here that the nose swab is the state of the art.
Right. Okay.
Because you have to get back there and get that whatever it is. Now there are different type of tests out there. There are point of care testing, so you can go some places, and one of our competitors does this. They'll do a point of care testing. Maybe it's just saliva. I don't know, but it's only got a 50% accuracy rate. So if you get your negative, you could be positive. If you get positive, you could be negative, 50-50.
So it's not good.
So, I mean, it just depends what kind of risk you want to bear when you go to those kind of things like that. So, but there are alternatives other than the big, deep nosedive.
Yeah, I've heard that was fun.
Yeah. It hurts. Yes, sir.
How can a little particle of saliva give you the virus, but they have to stick a Q-tip to the back of your skull?
It all just depends on where that germ is hiding, I guess. I don't know. And if you're positive and you've got that virus, apparently you can project that in many different ways. But I don't know. Asking me too hard a question. Let's make them a little easier. Come on, Roxanne, give me a softball. I have a question.
Well, you're doing a great job.
Thank you. Thank you. Anybody else have any questions I can't answer? All right. Thank you.
Thank you, Rick. All right. Thank you very much. John, Katie, thanks for the update on the bike ride. We look forward to doing whatever we can do. Because whatever we do will help our community. And that's what we're here for. Service above self, that's it. So,
Larry,
ma'am.
can I say something?
Yes, ma'am.
I don't know how many of y'all know Lee Spencer. He's been around our town for a long time, and Lee Spencer has passed away last week. It was not COVID. Lee had been sick, and even in the one of the nursing facilities here. But to give him a credit, even as a Lion, he was our site and tissue chairperson, I'm going to say for over 37 years. So basically we recycle oak glasses. So if you do have oak glasses, you'd like to turn them in, you can give them to me. We do recycle them. We do have them at like here at Greenville. We have them at the library, and there are boxes where people can go turn those glasses in. But for those that may not have known, Lee Spencer did pass away, so keep his families in prayer. He lost his wife about a year or so ago.
How about contact lenses I can't wear anymore? Can we use the contact? No. Okay.
That was quick right there.
You could bring them to me. We might find somebody, because these aren't kept. We don't recycle these in the United States because it's against the law. They go down deep into Mexico or Brazil or somewhere like that. We can't. USDA, they're not going to allow us to do that here.
All
But
right.
you can bring them to me. I'll see if they'll take them.
Thank you so much, Debbie.
You're welcome.
Well, everybody, have a great week. This ends Rotary for today.
This video has been brought to you by Juice 34. Juice is your community-owned provider for electric, internet, cable TV, and true local programming.